Murder season has arrived. Welcome back to my channel, Reality Reads. It is my second favorite season of the year, which is in fact Traitor season. Today's video is going to be our kickoff special, but I will be posting a recap and chat kind of video every Sunday all throughout the season of Traitors US Season 4. Make sure you're subscribed and definitely let me know all of your thoughts every week down in the comments. In today's video, we are doing a full preseason kickoff. We are going to rank all of the different players. I am going to lock in my predictions for who I think are going to be selected as the traitors. And we're going to decide, do we think the traitors are going to come away with a win this season finally? Or is the game going to be in the hands of the faithfuls yet again? Without further ado, let's head over to the castle. Now, what I'm going to say is, I am pretty familiar with most of these people, whether it's because I have already started like watching them on other shows or I've done research since the cast was announced. But there's definitely a few people on this cast list that I still feel like I don't have a good read or understanding or prediction of how they may perform on the traitors. But I have my categories here. So I have lost and confused. They have no idea why they're in this castle. They do not know what is going on. Lost but entertaining, because those are two very different kinds of people. Maybe they are way wrong at the round table, but we love to see them accuse people. I have some for people that are just here. They're not necessarily lost. They're not necessarily playing well. They're also not that entertaining. They're just like there. I have did their research. These are people that are going to, I think, play a really good game, but will probably at some point be taken out by the traitors somewhat like early to mid game. So I don't see them having our next category of a winner potential. So let's dive in. I am also not going to reveal at this part who I think the traitors are, but I am going to kind of share some thoughts about what I have with each person as I rank them. And I'm just going to go based off of like what I'm seeing on the screen in that order. So up first, we have Tiffany Mitchell. Now, I am putting her under did their research. I do think that there is Tiffany Mitchell. If you do not know, she is from Big Brother. She is a phenomenal strategist. I think that she is going to play a phenomenal game. She's also like a social butterfly. I think it's going to go well for her, but I do not think that because of the gamer stigma that I'm so worried about for this season of the Traitors, I don't think she's going to win, which I will be bummed about, but I'm just trying to be like somewhat realistic with my rankings here. Tara Lipinski is next. I'm going to put her under Lost and Confused. Now, there is potential that Johnny may know a little bit more. Johnny Weir is also on the cast. They are besties, so maybe Johnny can kind of help her out a little bit. But for the most part, I kind of just think that she's going to be like, I don't know why I'm here. This isn't really my thing. I'm just here because NBC needed some Winter Olympics, filler people. The next person I'm going to do is Steven, and I'm going to put him under just here. Now, I will say, based off of some recent research I did where I was looking at social medias, I do think there's potential that I'm wrong about this, but it has been my thought and opinion the whole time, just knowing Steven from Laguna Beach and One Tree Hill and following him for many years. I just don't think he's going to be very outspoken. I think that he is just going to kind of be along for the ride. Who knows? Maybe he skates his way to the end like, what's-her-face, Dolores last year. But I think he's just gonna be there. I don't think he's going to be like a standout star or anything like that. Jam Jam, I think that he probably just has to go under did their research just because he is a gamer. I feel like a lot of the gamers do come into the Traitors pretty prepared. I'm not super familiar with Jam Jam because I'm not a big Survivor person and he is New Era Survivor. I know he's friends with Carolyn. I think they were on the same season. So like maybe he got some tips from her about how to play the game. I don't know. But the fact at least that he's a gamer makes me feel like he will at least be somewhat prepared. Ron Funches. I'm gonna say lost but entertaining. And I think that if he's around long enough, he's someone that could get a better understanding of the game and not be so lost. But I definitely think at least going in, he's also going to be like, why am I here? What are we doing? What did my agent sign me up for, basically? But he's still going to be entertaining. I think there's going to be some people on this cast that if they can kind of like have some combos together, they'll be really funny together. And then that brings me to Rob Sesternino. I'm going to put him under did their research because if you don't know, RHAP, he hosts these games constantly. He knows how these games work. He has a pretty like at least familiarity with, I would say, mostly everyone on this cast, even if he hasn't had like a personal connection or relationship with them, he at least knows who they are, knows where they came from, and kind of like knows talking points about each of them, I would say, just because of his podcast and all of the different shows that they discuss and cover. And then they host Mafia games, or back in the day before he was on the Traitors cast, it used to be the Traitors games, multiple times throughout the year. So he's seen how different strategies work and don't work as a host, and I am extremely excited to watch him play this game. Up next, we have Eric Nam. Now, this is someone that I'm not familiar with, like, at all. I've tried to watch a few things. The only thing that I have gotten that, like, leads me to think he would be okay is that he does know Johnny and Tara. They've, like, done a couple things together in the past or something along those lines. But I think that he's still gonna just be lost and entertaining. I don't see him being like a standout star or someone that is going to be like a super master strategist or, you know, any of those kinds of things. So I'm going to put him for lost but entertaining. Oh wait, no, actually, I want him for just here. I see him and Steven, just really filling that same role. They're just there in the background, but they're not really like stand out. They're not accusing anyone at the table. They're not leading the faithfuls in any direction or anything like that, but they're a part of the group. Next we have this Rob guy from Love Island, another person that I really know nothing about, and I think he's going to be lost and confused. I think that the Love Island people are not going to have a clue as to any part of the strategy. And I'm not familiar with him, so I don't know how entertaining he was on his show that he is coming from. But so far from anything that I've watched or seen or whatever, it's not made me any more excited. There's like some of these people that I didn't know much about going into the season after the cast was announced, but after watching other people's analysis or doing my own research, it's made me excited to see how they will do in the game. He's not one of them. Then we have Natalie Anderson, definitely going under did their research. I think that Natalie, again, kind of like Jam Jam, but Natalie, I do know, is very strategical, so I would even put her like a notch above Jam Jam. But in my eyes, like, all the gamers will at minimum be at did their research because the gamers will do their research. I think the only caveat or like downside I see to Natalie is sometimes she can have a really like almost strong and somewhat abrasive personality. At least that's how some people perceive her. So I am curious to see like how she will integrate into the cast. But as long as she can kind of like get in, then I think she'll do well. Okay, Mark Ballas. My first winner potential. I do think that Mark Ballas has winner potential. Mark is also a very big not Dancing with the Stars fan. Jeez Louise. He is a very big Traitors fan. He got into Traitors and Survivor during COVID. And he was really, really excited to go out and play. And I don't know, just like the swagger and like kind of videos he was posting when the cast ended the game and got their phones and stuff back, it was giving winner vibes. I'm just saying. I think that, and I just think that a lot of people won't think that he knows what he's doing or knows the game. And yeah, I think that might be a hot take, but I think that Mark has winner potential vibes. I genuinely do. And he is someone that since the day the cast was announced, I was excited to watch him play this game. Monet Exchange did their research. I'm just not putting them under the winner potential because of the like historic performance of people from RuPaul's Drag Race. However, what I will say is different about Monet Exchange is they love these games. So research will be done. I don't think they're quite as outspoken as some of the other previous RuPaul's Drag Race people that we have had. Not to say that like they're not going to defend themselves at a round table or anything like that. I just don't think they're going to draw as much attention off the rip. And like I said, they love these games. They love Survivor. They love Big Brother. They love they've like been wanting to be in this kind of a game. So because of that, definitely going and did their research and definitely excited to watch them play. Up next is Maura Higgins. I'm going to go with Lost but Entertaining. Initially, I was just going to put her under Lost and Confused, but from what I have discovered in my research, it seems she is someone that can tend to be very confrontational. So because of that, she gets a little bump up. I should have added a category of why are you here? Like, we want to know. That's where Michael whatever would have gone. But I think they're just going to be lost. And honestly, I hope that they leave extremely, extremely early. Kristen Kish. This is someone that a lot of people are excited to see play. I'm going to put them under just here, but please know that I so badly want to put them under did their research just because I don't think they're going to do their research, but I think they're just someone that can be so adaptable that they're going to end up being like doing really well. They may have the potential to lead the faithfuls, or like rally up a troop around them to, you know, make some things happen. And definitely going under did their research. Again, I'm so hesitant to put any gamers truly up in the winner potential spot because I'm just so nervous that everyone is going to gang up on the gamers this season. I feel like that's what we're in for. But Ian is also a very good master strategist kind of player, and he's quiet and unassuming. So I think that he will do well. He's very like observant. He will be able to pick up on different things. Very excited to see him play. Johnny Weir. I'm also going to put him under did their research. I don't know why, but I feel like Johnny Weir is going to do well. I think that this isn't necessarily a kind of show that they would have chosen for themselves to be in, but they've also been on several different kinds of shows. And so because of that, I just think socially, like, I don't know that the strategy is going to be there, but I think they're going to have a really strong social game for sure. Up next, we have Portia Williams. I'm going to put her under Lost but Entertaining. Almost for the same reasons as Maura. I do think, though, that she won't be quite as lost as the other two that I already have on this list. I think that her reads are going to be pretty good, like seeing through things, but I just don't know that strategically she's going to be able to make anything happen with it. We'll see. Under for Colton, this is someone that I'm just not that familiar with. And again, the more I've learned, the less exciting I am to see them here. So I'm putting them under Lost and Confused because I personally am confused as to why you were put on this cast. Up next, we have Donna Kelsey. I'm putting Donna under winner potential. One, Donna is also a fan of the Traitors. She has watched all of the different countries and the franchises and whatnot. But, I also read into how people on this cast have kind of talked about her postseason and after the game has been played. And I think a lot of them are trying to find ways to get around the fact that they got outplayed by Donna Kelsey. I genuinely think that that's some of what has been going on in some of the conversations that they've been having here for the preseason. They're trying to get ahead of like, how'd you get played by this older woman kind of thing. So I think that that's very strong potential there. Candace Dillard Bassett, I'm going to put her under just here. I think that she's someone that will follow along. I think that she will, She's not going to bring anything up, but she's going to be able to add additional points to someone else's argument. So, yeah, I feel good with that one there. Lost and Confused is this Caroline or Carolyn girl. Know nothing at all about this one, and I think that she's going to know nothing about the game just from the franchise that she's coming from and the fact that, like, I always say that the housewives don't really do their research coming in. They're typically lost and confused. But there's been other people that have like willingly online talked about some of these different people and like how they actually think that they would prepare for the Traitors game, or how they're going to perform, or that at least they're going to be entertaining at the round table. I haven't heard a word about this girl, so I fear nah. Okay, Dorinda. I'm going to put her under did their research just because, like, she's been here before. And I did watch some interviews that she talked about where, like, she did her research, basically. We'll see how it plays out. I'm, like, 50-50 on if I'm excited for her to be back again, to be honest. But, yeah, I'll put her under did their research, but only because she's been here before. And then for just here, I'm going to put Lisa Rinna because, and honestly, she's very much tied between Just Here and Lost and Confused, because I don't think that she'll be all that entertaining to me. Like, I think it's cool that she's on here. I know she's a big get from the Housewives franchise, but I'm not that excited to see her play. I don't think she's going to care to try all that much to win the game. And I just don't think that she's going to be all that strategical. So, I don't know. I'm changing my mind. She's going to be under Lost and Confused. So, this is my official preseason ranking of everyone, and we will revisit this list postseason to see were we right, were we wrong, and if we were wrong, how wrong were we? Let's jump into who I think the Traitors are going to be. Let's chat about who I think are going to be selected as the Traitors this season. So this first one, honestly, is probably not a shock to anyone. I think we all collectively are assuming that this person is going to be a traitor, and that is, in fact, Donna Kelsey. I think that because of the way that this cast is curated almost, that this is kind of a perfect fit for her to be a traitor. I've also watched other seasons. I'm not going to say which they are, but some of the other countries have had older people as the traitors, and it is actually a really fun dynamic and really fun to watch. And so I think that they're going to kind of lean into that with this season and with the selection of Donna. She's also just one of the bigger names on the cast, and they're going to want her to stick around for a while. Again, going back to kind of what I said in the ranking portion of like the way people have kind of spoke about her post game, I also think kind of just like leads me to believe even more that she's a traitor, and people are like a little bit bitter about that. So I definitely think that Donna is going to be a traitor. Up next, I think that Johnny Weir is going to be selected as a traitor. Again, I've watched some of the other countries' versions, and I've watched a couple of different seasons where people come in with very strong outside of the castle relationships. There's been a mother and son, there's been a boyfriend and girlfriend, best friends, whatever the case may be, and they make one of the people a traitor. I just don't think Tara Lipinski has the personality type to be a traitor, so I definitely think it's going to be Johnny that is selected, and that's going to add a really fun dynamic to the cast as well, and just to see kind of like how he plays that. Is she able to pick up on it? Honestly, I've enjoyed all of those seasons where I've watched that dynamic kind of play out, and you would be shocked to see how that plays out sometimes. So I definitely think that Johnny is a lock to be a traitor. I think there's going to be 3 traitors selected to start out the game. And this last spot, I have to be honest, I have gone back and forth between 2 people so many times. And the 2 people that I keep going back and forth between is Tiffany Mitchell from Big Brother and Dorinda from last season. Because I do think that there's a chance that they just choose Dorinda to be a traitor so that she's not out first again. Because I feel like a lot of like Housewives people and maybe even the production team themselves Felt like we missed out on a lot from her being out so quickly last season, and maybe they would want to prevent that from happening again. Personally, I think it would be like the funniest thing if she was out first twice, but not up to me. So I actually am going to lock in Tiffany as the other pick, because even though I'm hopeful and think that they should sway away from being so gamer heavy in the turret, I think that they at least have to have one gamer in there. And Tiffany is honestly, out of all the gamers, in my personal opinion, the best choice to choose as a traitor, in the hopes that traitors stick together this season, unlike last season where they were trying to take each other out at every single turn of the game. If you're unfamiliar with Tiffany and BB23, there was an alliance created. They had a special mission. They accomplished that mission, but Tiffany was the mastermind behind that alliance. And it was really important for them all to stick together and work together. And so because she's done that before, I think that she's a great person to put in there to ensure that the traitors actually stick together this season. And that's what I'm hoping to see from her, honestly. I think she knows that it's like not a good game move for the traitors to go after each other if they actually want to make it to the end. And then I have one other person that I'm choosing as like a late game recruit, and that is Mark Ballas. So I think that Mark is going to get recruited by the traitors just because I think that he is going to be, I don't know why. It's just a gut instinct that I just think that Mark is going to get recruited. I do not see him being someone that Alan chooses off the rip, but I just think that he's going to prove himself to be like a good gamer and someone that the traitors see would be willing to like come to the dark side to play this game and stick it out with them. You know, it wouldn't be like a Pilot Pete where like he's not going to lean into the traitor aspect of the game. And so because of that, I think that that's just going to be someone that they choose to bring under their wing probably after they lose Tiffany. Like, let's be real. I think that Tiffany is probably going to be like one of the first traitors to go, unfortunately, just because of how good of a gamer she is. Let's wrap this thing up with who I am choosing as my winner picks and why. I think that it is finally going to be the season for the traitors to win, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think has happened for the US since season 1 was Suri. Every other season, the faithfuls come away with the win. But I think that we're going to see a traitors win this season. I think it's going to be Donna and Mark. I think, like I said, Mark is going to get recruited late in the game. But I think that Tiffany, if she's in there, is going to lay such a good foundation that sticks with them of like traitors have to stick together if they want to win this thing. And she's not going to leave because of like traitor on traitor violence. She's just going to get taken out because people suss her out. And because of that, I just see like Donna and Mark kind of working together until the end of the game. And Johnny also is just going to like be taken out at some point. Probably like a probability stance of like, okay, either Johnny or Tara, one has to be a traitor, and we don't see it being Tara, so like we're gonna get rid of Johnny kind of thing. Like I see that being his demise. And so then I think that Donna and Mark are just gonna be able to stick it out to the end and dupe a lot of people. They're gonna think that they're down to the last faithful of the faithfuls, and they're gonna walk away with the money. And I'm also hoping that that's what happens. I would be ecstatic to see Donna and Mark win. I honestly, if I'm right about these traitor selections, I would be happy with any of them winning. I just want a traitors win this year, to be honest. Like, I'm sick of seeing the faithfuls win this game. I want the traitors to lock in, stick together, and pull out a win this season. Like, come on. So those are all of my preseason thoughts, picks, and opinions for Traitor Season 4. Let me know down in the comments if you agree, disagree. I'm so excited to tune in to Traitors on January 8th. We have just a couple more days to go. And like I said at the beginning, I will be back on Sunday, letting you know all of my thoughts on the first 3 episodes that drop. I'm so excited to tune in. Let me know how excited you are down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.